Right guys, so welcome. This is going to be my Premier League predictions. Now this isn't going to be anything like, this isn't really much for people to see, it's more for myself, but I thought I'd just do it out of interest on a video. So starting out with the bottom three, Burnley, Hull, Sunderland. I should let you know I'm actually a Hull City fan, so yeah, it's not looking good for Hull. Yeah, they're just doing terrible. No player signings currently. No manager, just a caretaker manager still. So yeah, I don't really see Hull doing very well. Potentially 20th, but I think they've got quite a good team spirit, so that might count for something. Burnley, they're like decent, but I just do not feel like they're Premier League standard yet. They've got a few attacking players, but their midfield and defence aren't too great. Their keeper is decent, but again, it's not really Premier League standard, so I think they're going to go down. And Sunderland, they always seem to make the great escape every year. I just do not feel like this is going to be the year that they can manage to keep hold of it. I do not feel like David Moyes is got the squad that he needs to keep Sunderland up. So yeah, I think this time is the time they're going to go down. Next, we've got the four teams above relegation zone. I'm starting out with Bournemouth. I feel like now that they've lost Matt at the back, he was providing a lot of service for Bournemouth, and now he's gone. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to survive, because they haven't really got enough service to the front men. They have brought in Jordan Ibe, which is a decent signing, but I don't really feel like he's at that level yet where he's like providing consistent service. Crosses, key passes, etc. to the front boys. So I'm not really sure where the assists are going to come from. And the two they've got at the front, they haven't actually had much time to adapt into the season after a lot of injuries up front last season. So I'm not really sure with these guys, and I think they might just scrape it through. We'll have to see. Next, we've got Middlesbrough. This team's made a lot of great signings. They've got Negredo up top now. They brought Victor Valdez as their keeper, which is a shame for Hull personally to be seeing Middlesbrough making these sort of signings and Hull to be making none. So yeah, I think Middlesbrough's done pretty well. I think yeah, they're just about bottom tier Premier League team. So I think they'll stay in. Crystal Palace. Currently, they haven't actually signed Benteke yet. They're looking at bidding. They're now over like 30 mil. I think they're over like 32 mil. They're aiming upwards to try and get Benteke in. I personally don't really rate Benteke that highly. And since they've just sold Balassi to Everton, I do not see again that service coming in that Benteke would need. So I think it's going to be another blunt sword issue like he was at Liverpool. You need to build your squad around him, and Crystal Palace haven't had time to do that. So yeah, I don't see Crystal Palace doing too well this season. Number 14th, we've got Watford. Played pretty decent last season. They've got a decent squad going now. They've made a few additions to it this year, which should only help. And yeah, I think they're going to be quite consistent. And I reckon 14th for Watford. Now we're going from 13 to 10. 13th place going with West Brom. Up top they've got Rondon, who's looking really decent form. He's slimmed down for the new season. Should give him a little bit more pace and agility. He's got a great shot on him, and he's very strong and tall. So hopefully he'll be getting some goals for the team. They've got Berahino still at the time of recording here. And yeah, their midfield is sort of decent. It's not great, but they've got a bit of squad depth really. At the back, they're okay. Again, it's at the bottom tier really. Then they're not a top Prem team yet, and they have got Fraser Forster at the back still. And yeah, it's a decent team, and if they play well, they should stay up. Swansea next. They have bought in Llorente. I think he came in from Juve, or no, he's at Sevilla now. He wasn't. He was at Sevilla last. So yeah, they got Llorente in. They've lost Gomez, so that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, and they've lost Jordan Ayew, which again is another Andrew Ayew, sorry, the brother. They've lost some key players. Luckily, they've got a few boys still there. Sigurdsson as well. They've still got John Joe Shelby. They've also lost Ashley Williams, so they have lost a bit of their spine really. And yeah, I think 12th is probably even being a bit kind for Swansea really. But yeah, not bad. Next, I've actually got Leicester. I do not feel like they'll be able to stay up to the standard of which they stayed up to last year, because everybody knows what their game plan is there. They've had time to prepare against them. Hull City have already beat them in the first game of the season. Musa does look like quite a cultured little striker they've brought in. Yeah, decent. They've kept hold of Mahrez and Vardy, which is big. They've kept all the defenders. So, and they've kept Schmeichel as well, and added quite a lot of squad depth with Zila as the keeper. They've brought in Mendy as well, which I haven't seen really much of him, but he appears to be quite a decent replacement for Kante. So yeah, overall it's looking decent for Leicester, but I think the fact that everybody's figured them out, and I just don't think the shine is going to be there from last season. And then finally in 10th, I've got Southampton. Yeah, they're again very similar to Leicester. The squad's been stripped down quite a lot. They have lost Mane, Wanyama, etc. Stephen Corker at the back. So yeah, they have lost a fair few players, but they've still got Fraser Forster in goal. They lost Pella as well, obviously, to the Chinese league. The only problem is they've got Shane Long up front, and it appears that Redmond might be joining him up front. Used to be a winger, moving him up into the striker role, which is going to be interesting to see. They have also brought in Højbjerg, I think it is, in the midfield, and a Frenchman at right back. Forget his name, but yes, so they are added to the squad a little bit, but at the front it's just looking pretty dreadful. I don't really see where much of the goals are going to come from. So yeah, Southampton 10th. Can't really see them going any higher than that. Now we've got 9th to 5th. So these are the teams that should be looking to try and break it into that top 6 sort of area. The shock is obviously Arsenal there, not making the top 4, but I'll come to that later. First we've got to start with Stoke. I think they've got a really solid team, but they have lost. They need to get, I think, a striker, because Juve is just not good enough if you want to get into that sort of top zone. They have got Joe Allen in. They've still got an Altovich. They've got Shaqiri, Bojan. Yeah, they have got a decent bit of front. Imbula, the midfielder, seems really, really good from the end of last season. We saw him. Yeah, he seems really decent. Their defence is okay. Yeah, and they've got Butland, who should be coming back from injury pretty soon. So yeah, it is a really decent squad, but it's not quite good enough to get any higher than 9th, as I say. Next we've got Everton. Currently they've still got Lukaku. It's yet to see what happens with him. It's rumored he might be going back to Chelsea. But if they keep Lukaku, then that is just huge. He is a world-class striker, in my opinion. They have also got that Niasse. I don't know. He might have gone, actually. I don't even know what's happened to him. Yeah, I don't know. What he appears to apparently be on the way out. I don't know. They have still got Kone up front as well. The midfield is really decent. They've got Deulofeu, who seems to be adopting potentially a striker role this season if Lukaku's not fit or goes. They've got Barkley. Yeah, it's a decent little midfield, and their defence is, well, stringy last season. They have lost John Stones, but I think they can keep it together under the new manager. Yeah, it's looking good as well. they have got Skettenberg. I can't even pronounce the keeper's name, but he's a pretty decent goalkeeper. So yeah, it's looking good for Everton. Then we've got West Ham. Yeah, I think this team is on the up. This team could be pressing top 4 in the next 5 years. Depends on how they progress. If this year's transfer window is anything to go by, then it's looking very good for Everton. Faguli they brought in. They also, I believe, they got in Ayew. Yeah, they got in Ayew. They got in Traore on a season loan with an option to buy. He is looking decent. They got Payet still. They've managed to keep hold of him unless anything happens on transfer deadline day. It's looking really, really decent for West Ham. Defence is looking good. I personally think they should get a new keeper. So I think their keeper's a bit on the way out, in my opinion. Adrian's on the way out. But yeah, overall really decent. I suppose you could argue maybe a new striker. They have still got Valencia though and Sacco. But yeah, Andy Carroll is not who you want if you're trying to break into the top 4. So yeah, a new striker in my opinion. Here we have got Liverpool. I reckon Liverpool at a push could get top 4. Depends on if they can take anyone out that's up there. But yeah, if Sturridge stays fit, they've got Mane, Origi, Ings. I think they've technically still got Balotelli. They've got Coutinho. All those are at the front. And that is a good front selection, if you ask me. They've also got Firmino, who sometimes plays the striker role, which I disagree with. I think he should play the cam role. They got Wijnaldum as well. They got Milner, who made the most Premier League assists in the whole of 2016. They have actually still got Markovic, I think, who came back from loan. Yeah, I think he's come back from loan now, so they've still got him. I doubt he'll make it into the team. But yeah, amazing front team. They've got a pretty decent midfield. The defence, if Klopp can get the defence to work together, it should be a Champions League, Europa League level defence. You know, Sacco, Klein, Matip, Lovren. The only problem is the left back Moreno is terrible. So yeah, if they could fix that, they brought in a new keeper, which should put a bit of pressure on the first team keeper selection, which is always good. So yeah, I think Liverpool with under Klopp, they even could get top 4, but we'll have to wait and see. Then we've got Arsenal getting 5th, in my opinion. They've not signed a striker. They've not signed a centre back. They've not bolstered the positions they need to. I just do not see them getting top 4 this year with the competition that's going to be going on. I'd say there's 7 teams that are fighting for top 4, maybe 6. There's easily 6 teams fighting for top 4 this year. And yeah, I just don't see them making the top 4. Giroud is just dwindling. Sanchez, he can't hold the team up all year round. Welbeck, he just gets injured, and he's not the best provider of goals. They have got Ozil, who looks like he probably wants to go on his way out after not signing a new contract renewal this summer with only 1 year left. Looks like he could be on his way out soon. Cazorla is seriously aging. Yeah, he can't seem to hold 90 minutes. The team's not looking great, in my opinion. Xhaka that they've signed looked terrible in his first game. I do think that was a blip, and it's going to take time to adjust. But he did look terrible. Ramsey just picked up a huge injury. He's out for 4 to 8 weeks, I believe it is, 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, the defence is just shambolic. Yeah, I don't see Arsenal making the top 4 this year in Arsene Wenger's last year before he leaves. So, yeah, not looking good there. Now, finally, the top 4. I've gone with Tottenham in 4th. Decent team, young team, high potential all round. They played amazingly last season. They could have won the title. They ended up absolutely crashing and burning. I do not think they've got the quality of Chelsea or either the Manchester teams. Maybe not even of a fully fit Arsenal team, but they're on the way there. If Pochettino can hold up that form that he had last year, they'll easily make the top 4. Chelsea in third. I think the new manager is going to bring a touch of class to the team that needed it most, needed solidarity, and I think they've got that as well. They need to maybe make a few more signings. They've got Kante in though that should really shore up the midfield, and the team's looking a lot more together. They've got Eden Hazard who should be back flying in some goals. I think Chelsea easily going to make the top 4 this year. I think they should hold on with Costa until a suitable replacement comes about. Potentially, in my opinion, Lacazette will be a great striker for anybody in the Prem, but I think maybe he needs another season unless he does get snatched up. I reckon PSG are probably keeping tabs on him. So yeah, I think Chelsea in third. Then here we go, the top 2. I honestly think you could put these in any order. I just don't know. I've gone with Manchester City. What Mourinho's got going for him is that he's got the knowledge of the Premier League already, and Pep just doesn't. But I think the Man City team has got just such good squad depth. It's incredible. But the Manchester United starting 11 and bench is amazing. Any team in the world will want most of those players, but the Manchester City has just got first choice left, right, and centre. And yeah, overall, I think Man City's going to win the league. Anyway, I'll come back to these these predictions at the end of the season and see how I did. Hope you enjoyed, and make sure you like and subscribe for other videos. Adios.